purpose is number one. You know, why do we go keto? Number one's got to be health. In my opinion, number two is to reverse disease, whatever that is that you're struggling with, but reverse the diseases, if you will, of carbohydrate toxicity that so many people suffer with. You know, this has got to be on your list of reasons as to why. Some people want to have, you know, better brain focus. Some people want more energy. Some people are really tired or lethargic. I mentioned a bunch of diseases earlier, you know, the epileptic seizure, the diabetes, the pre-diabetes, the blood sugar swings, the dementia. Those are all good reasons, and those all fall under that category. Really, they fall under the category of health. But I want to talk about another really important reason, because in my opinion, the whole purpose of somebody even going keto is not to get into ketone energy production and stay there. It's to really create metabolic balance. What do I mean by that? I said earlier metabolic sludge, right? If you think about, you know, too much carbohydrate toxicity, this, I'm going to use a non-technical word here, but it sludgifies your bloodstream. It makes everything sticky. It glycates all of your proteins. It reduces the way that your hormones are allowed to communicate to your cells. So it creates all these different problems because it basically makes your bloodstream one big batch of sludge. It makes all the hormones and proteins in your blood very, very gummed up and very sticky. It changes their structure, changes their shape, therefore changes their structure and function, relationships in the body. So we're trying to reverse this, right? We're trying to bring back metabolic balance. Well, what does that look like? So somebody who's on a carbohydrate toxic diet, they've adapted and they're really good at burning carbohydrates, and they're really good at storing carbohydrates as fat. They're really good in this zone. So when they're in this zone, you know, they feel better, they feel, they may not feel great, they may not be healthy, but like that sugar fix that so many people have to gravitate toward, and that sugar fix makes them feel good because they're getting that instant energy rush, right? What we're trying to do is bring back your body's ability, or train your body's ability to utilize fat as an energy substrate or source. So we want you to be able to switch back and forth, you know, whether it's a higher carbohydrate or a higher fat load. We want your body to be able to efficiently burn those energy sources for fuel effectively and efficiently without all the side effects. So we're striving to give you metabolic balance or resiliency. So you want to make sure this to me is the bigger goal, because you can't stay ketone forever. Like, that's a bad idea. You're going to create fat toxicity. But what we really want to do is get your body to a state where it can burn fat effectively, but we also want to be able to switch back over here should we not have adequate fat. Remember that if we go back before food was available 24/7 all the time to everyone, no matter what, right? We had a limited quantity of food, and it had to be found, it had to be gathered, it had to be hunted for. And generally speaking, it wasn't always high fat, it wasn't always high carb. It was probably very, very relatively low carb most of the time, except where fruit could be found. And so most humans, you know, if we look at the anthropology of evolution, of the way our bodies were designed to handle fuels, most humans probably had more fat in their diet than they did high carbohydrate levels in their diet as we evolved. And it's really only been in the last century that we've seen high carbohydrate diets take on the major role. And look what's happened in the last century. We've seen all these chronic degenerative diseases go higher. So I would encourage you to kind of think about going ketone as a way to train your body on how to burn fat efficiently so that you can restore metabolic balance, but not as a tool so that you demonize carbohydrate. Because I think if we get into the category where we start saying, okay, fat is good, but carbs are bad, now you got to understand that there are certain carbohydrates that your body needs in order to function. And if you're not getting adequate carbohydrates, it can go the other direction. You can end up with a problem as well. There are certain essential carbohydrates your body absolutely needs. So again, it's a matter of restoring the balance between how your body efficiently moves back and forth between the way it can generate energy or drive ATP production between carbohydrates and or fat. So what it's not about, or what it shouldn't be about, at least not at the core. I mean, again, vanity runs a lot of people's decisions, and you know, I'm not judging, but weight loss It can be a very effective tool for weight loss. So if you're morbidly obese, that could be a reason for health. But if you're a relatively healthy person, I don't really recommend just driving yourself into ketone energy production as weight loss being the sole goal. I really encourage you more here. If your goal is just simply weight loss and you're relatively healthy in other ways, look to come here first. Look to that rule of thirds before you jump into that high-level ketone fluctuation. Hey, and if you missed the earlier part of this series, click right here so you can go back and get caught up. The information there might be critical to helping you on your path to better health. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for updates below. Have a great day.